LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they're not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Checkered flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the match? Legacy. You want a legacy? You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell, Owens, and Jay Quimby.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 282 of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I am your man, Darrell Owens, as always, and with me, I guess to your right, my left, something like that, the man, myth, and the absolute legend, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. What's up, sir?
Not much. How's everybody doing?
Man, we out here in these streets, man, just trying to behave and trying to make it through another day. You know how it goes here on this wonderful October the 13th.
Da-da-da.
Not quite Friday the 13th, but we'll take it. We've got it's gonna be a fun show. Let's just say that. Jay's gonna be in rare form today, so prepare yourselves. If you're not prepared, be prepared because it's gonna go down. So we got a lot to talk about today. We got to talk Kyrie.
2Y banana.
we got a little John Gruden to talk today. We're gonna talk Ben Simmons. We'll talk Kyrie Irving. Of course, we're gonna give a recap of all the games from last week. We'll give you our predictions for this week. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a fun one. Jay, before we get going, man, anything you want to talk about before we get into all the fun stuff?
I mean, what the hell, John? I mean, okay, I believe in freedom of speech, but you dumb.
Yeah, he's dumb. He's dumb.
You
yeah,
dumb.
It's not smart. He's definitely not smart at all. I tell you what, the whole situation is crazy. The whole situation is crazy.
You know, this is where I want our Canadian friend, the king of the north or whatever the hell he calls himself this week. I want him to be. I want to hear what he has to say about his beloved Raiders. Ex-Raiders head coach. I mean, he's been disbanded quicker than any person so far. I mean, hell, we took him out of our Ring of Honor, and we're removing the statue of him out front.
Dang. Didn't take long. Didn't take long, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering what we're talking about, our top story of the day is a John Gruden email scandal. And John Gruden had to resign as the head coach of the formerly the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. The whole situation, Jay, is just crazy.
Looking at him right now, he's thinking something racist.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, the whole situation about this John Gruden thing that blows my mind. You know, it gained a little traction over the weekend when they first said that he had said what he said about DeMaurice Smith and them having Michelin tire lips. If you're a man of comedy, you may have caught that as if a comedian would have said it, you might have thought it was funny, maybe. But then you see how he said it, and then he goes into emails. Then there's a whole bunch of, you know, homophobic, transphobic, you name it. It was a whole bunch of just crazy stuff that he unleashed in these emails.
Definitely a lot of craziness, but for me, it was the fact of why did it take the other stuff to make him resign? With just the racial slurs itself is enough to piss me off personally.
Yeah, I was kind of blown away by it because I was trying to figure that thing out myself, Jay. And I said, I do not understand the philosophy here. But hey, you know, the crazy thing about it is this all started, and we would have never known anything about it if the Washington football team would have not, you know, been able to handle themselves behind closed doors. And because of the investigation that they have going on, this is how this was discovered. But now we're getting the outcry, hey, man, we want the rest of the emails. Like, people are screaming for the emails. They want to know what else, who else was saying things out here, Jay. It's crazy.
It's a deep dive into the NFL is still working on trying to get Dan Snyder out as the owner of that team. And I think this is enough to get that push that we saw happen with the Reds so many decades ago with Marchand or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the Clippers owner with what that he had. But there's some people they had something drop about Adam Schefter where he sent something to Bruce Allen to say if this is okay. That's called good journalism if you're doing a report on somebody and you want to make sure you have their facts right.
Right.
It's not him working for TMZ and they just put bullshit out. And if they happen to get lucky, then they're awesome.
Right.
He wants to make sure he's got it all. So leave Adam Schefter alone. That's
that's the thing. Like,
now it's a witch hunt.
Now I feel like if you have ever written an email in the past in the NFL and you said something, you better call in your best cleaner possible, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's about to get ugly, because I think more people are going to be screaming, hey, man, what is going on? What happened? Who did this? Who did that? People are going to want to know what has been going down.
Reach out to Hillary. She knows what she's doing.
I told y'all, man, the Hillary Clinton emails, this is all resurfacing, man. I seen some great memes on it, but I remember when it first happened, I said, man, he must have got a hold of Hillary Clinton quick, because the email situation is real. And
but I mean, some of it's just that that one that I sent you. What did it say? Let's see. Let's go back here, because it was epic. I mean, they counted how many. Let's see. We had 124 emails, 71 slurs, 12 groups offended, 1 resignation.
I mean, good Lord, my man. Like, what's going on? But but it does bring up a very interesting point that we haven't really talked about, or a lot of people haven't really talked about just yet, is now that John Gruden is gone, the $10 million, the $10 million per year he was making, that's all, falling by the wayside. I forget, I don't want to say it and destroy the young man or the gentleman that's taken over as the head coach, but I saw Mike Mayock today do nothing but praise the interim head coach that's coming. I think it's Ricky Velasco. I don't want to say it.
I know who you're talking about, and I don't know. He is, for where I've looked at his career, he is an amazing special teams coach.
Right.
Amazing special teams coach. Anything above that has been with the Raiders. So as far, it's iffy, but then it makes you wonder what is Mayock going to do? Is he going to continue on? Because he was brought into this by Gruden. Because they hired Gruden and brought Mayock in.
But see, I think in this case, this actually works out better for Mayock, because now you don't have that looming fact that, hey, Gruden brought you in. And I'm pretty sure him and Mark Davis have a pretty good relationship just based off of what I've heard. And if they do, this is really a chance for Mark Mayock to lay his mark. Mike Mayock can go in and bring in his head coach. You know what I'm saying? Help bring in the head coach that he wants. And that's going to make a big difference. And then the other day they were talking about how Derek Carr said he wasn't going to work on no contract extension until after the season. But after this, you kind of wonder, and then that performance they had the other night, maybe he should have started talking some more about it and get that thing locked in. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
I'm good. No, I'm good. It's my little brother. He's flipping me off. I love you too, Danny. I love you, Danny.
That's a beautiful thing right there. Look at that.
Oh, well, come here. Hold on. Come over here. This is my oldest nephew, Brady.
Hey, Brady, how you doing, brother? What's up?
Doesn't he look just like his dad, don't he?
He does, all day. And I mean, it's like twin magic going on over there.
I know. You should see him in the sun. Like, he blisters instantly.
Oh, my God.
Right. I know you don't. Love you, man.
Hey, Denny, how you doing, brother? So getting the cameo by the Quimbys over there. Getting the cameo by the Quimbys.
The cameo. I heard my oldest nephew, he gets intense into football. They do the flag football stuff.
Uh-huh.
And apparently he has a mean streak. Who knew?
Well, I mean, it's in there somewhere. Hey, look, it's in the bloodline, it's in there somewhere. I'm telling you. But yeah, I'm looking at this situation. I don't know if this guy will be the complete answer at quarterback. I mean, at quarterback, but at the head coach. But I'm interested to see if the players will play better for him because I've heard nothing but if you listen to Mayock, he talked about how he is an absolute players coach and the players love him. Will that be enough to rally around and get him to keep this job? Or do we see a Eric Bieniemy get an opportunity now? Do we see the what's my man name? Bill DeBallo from Buffalo? I think the offensive coordinator up there in Buffalo. Do we see him get a shot now?
Well, this is all something that'll transpire in the offseason. Right now, it's damage control because the Raiders were doing fairly well up until this point, and then all of us, we have this. This is taken away from the fact that they were playing decent football until now they're not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like they were playing good football and the last 2 weeks have been a little bit rough for them. They took a very tough loss to the Chargers. Then they go in there and they lose to the Bears. And the Bears haven't been playing like lights out football. It's just they lose a very ugly one to the Bears. So
Joe got I don't know what told Joe to pick the Bears. He was the only person.
I can't believe it. I can't believe he got another Lone Ranger. I think that's his second of the season. So our Lone Ranger picks, I think at one point was like 4-17. So he pulled up another one. Cody almost got one of Lone Ranger. He almost put off that Colts and Ravens one, but then Lamar Jackson had other plans. So yeah.
How is it Lamar Jackson has more yards than 18 of the 32 NFL teams?
It's crazy by himself.
But they don't want to pay. But they don't want to pay him.
Oh, he's gonna get paid. It's got to be coming after this. It's just crazy.
Yeah, we'll get into that because that falls under the Chiefs thing because Mahomes got paid a whole bunch
of money,
and they going this way.
Yeah, it has been pretty. It has not been pretty, but I don't think that's all Mahomes neither. But they look out of sync. They definitely look out of sync. But overall, crazy thing for John Gruden.
He goes from being like the most wanted man because he was doing Monday Night Football. He had his own quarterback camp with ESPN. He was the hottest commodity in football, and now he's being like erased from the landmark of football.
Yeah.
For me, I hated him. Remember, they're like, oh, he's the guy that got you a Super Bowl. That was a Super Bowl he won with Tony Dungy's team, bro.
Well, the other funny thing is I don't know if you saw the Keyshawn Johnson and what
the
he
used
had
car.
Man, he called him used car salesman and called him a fraud. And said that, even when he said the one thing he will say, that when he was trying to retire, that they tried to bring him back. They did try to bring him back when he retired. But he said, besides that, he said he used to hear all the things that, he used to say about people. And he said he's not surprised at all that he, would be saying these things about people. So, man, come on, John. Come on, man.
It's hard to, I don't know. Anymore, it's not hard to believe certain things. Because moral compass is more decided by maybe Gruden's part of an older generation where you had the good old boys. Remember, that was a big thing at our work because if you were a certain color, a certain age, you could get away with whatever you wanted to. And tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. And that's, as I said, the whole situation is just crazy. And now, both Gruden brothers are out of the league and it's just, they've left a bad taste in a lot of NFL fans' mouths. And now his son is supposedly still going to be on the team as a strength and conditioning coach. So, Deuce, I think it's Deuce Gruden. What a name. Deuce Gruden is still going to be the strength and conditioning coach, I believe, for the Vegas Raiders. So Unbelievable. But we'll get back to football in just a second. But we do got to swing over and talk some NBA news. The Kyrie Irving situation has taken a weird. It just continues to get weird. The whole Kyrie Irving situation is just wild. Like 1 minute,
I love this picture because that face he's making is what we're doing too.
Yeah, we're shocked too. We don't know what is going on with Kyrie Irving, man. I mean, yes, we've heard that he doesn't want to get vaccinated, and so Brooklyn is pretty much saying that he can't play a game until it feels like they're pretty much saying he can't play a game till he's ready to comply. But it's really because they can't let him in any facilities because in New York they have certain laws about COVID, so they can't let him in any facilities. He can't do anything, so they can't even bring him onto the team to practice. And if you're not practicing, they're not going to let him play. He's not hurt, so
which makes sense. But it goes back to there's always been a question about Kyrie mentally from the everybody's got their beliefs. I'm not going to try to take a pop shot at him for being a flat earther or anything like that, but ever since he did the thing where with the Celtics where he called into the radio show, it makes you wonder about his mental health.
See, that's the one that bothered me. The radio show, I don't know why it bothered me so bad, but it did. The radio show situation was just weird to me. Like, he calls in, you can definitely tell that it was him. The radio host knew it was him. That was one thing. But ever since he was with LeBron, that last year when they won the championship, from that moment till now, that was back in 2016, right? Mm-hmm. So it's been about 5 years. And for 5 years, Kyrie Irving has just had this weird aura around him. And some people think it's mental health. Some people think it's, some other things. But whatever it is, I hope that he gets whatever it is together. Because this is hard. This is hard to see because he's a great athlete and people know that he's talented. But it's always something.
Best pure shooters that I've ever seen play the game.
And most people love his ball handling. They say easily he's the best ball handler in the league. But if you're Brooklyn, and in Brooklyn in this situation has already said they're starting to distance themselves a little bit. They had to go to Durant and Harden and say, hey, are you cool with us? What steps you want us to take? And Durant came to Brooklyn because of Kyrie.
Yeah.
And now he's the one that's kind of pretty much having to push Kyrie out the door. And that's got to be a little bit tough on him because they're really good friends. From what, that's the main reason why he's there in the first place. But now, if you're Brooklyn, you got to look out for your team. I think he's going to get traded. And if he does get traded.
Where do you think he's going, though?
Logical. And this is what everybody else keeps saying. Send him to Philadelphia. Go get Ben Simmons. And, Ben Simmons, the things that he's been doing in Philadelphia work out perfectly in Brooklyn because they don't really need him to score.
Isn't there the Rockets, do they still have Wall?
John Wall is still with the Rockets, but I believe they have been looking into trade scenarios potentially for John Wall. They're trying to start over fresh over there in Houston. So,
well, why not send Kyrie and bring Wall back?
Okay. I mean, if you could get Wall out of that'd be great. I just don't know, because if you're a team, you have to probably pretty much wanting to be unloading a star and knowing that more likely the star that you get is going to retire or leave the game. So
or go play in Australia.
Exactly. So you just don't know where it's going to go from there. But so Kyrie Irving, get it together, brother. We don't know what's going on, but they got to fix it at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic here, we're going to talk a little bit of baseball real quick. The baseball playoffs have been exciting so far. The Braves have already clinched their spot in the NLCS. They're waiting on the winner of the Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, 2 100-win teams, and they're battling out just to see who can go to the NL championship game, not the World Series, the NL championship game. And so we got that one going. And then Boston and Houston have already punched their tickets to the ALCS. So we're getting, I believe these two teams have been in the World Series within the last couple of years. Jay, what have been your thoughts so far of the playoffs, and what have you liked and what have you seen?
I really have. I like what's going on in the NL way better than the AL because I love Dusty Baker. I still don't trust the Astros any farther than I could throw them. I know that stealing signs is part of the game, or understanding what's going on, but just flat out cheating and finding ways. I mean, that's dirty, and they admitted to it. They know they got caught, but they still made it this far the last 5 years. So are they still cheating, or are they just that good? That's the question.
Yeah, I think that's the big controversy right now. Are they cheating? Are they still good? Whatever the deal is, we know they're a talented team. I mean, they got good players top to bottom on this team. Me personally, I love Dusty Baker, and I don't think Dusty's going to have those guys doing that. Low key, I really hope that the Astros win only for Dusty Baker's sake, and that is the only reason why I want the Astros to win. I hate them. Other than that, they're in my division. I can't stand them, but I want to see Dusty Baker get that ring. He, out of anybody else that are in these playoffs, he's the one guy that I want to see get the ring more than anybody.
I mean, I can understand that 100%.
Yeah.
For me, like I hate the Dodgers. I would like to see San Francisco or the Braves, one of those two, win the World Series. I don't like the Red Sox. I never have.
So what is your prediction for the game 5 that's coming up to see who takes on the Braves? You got Giants or Dodgers?
I like the Giants. I like everything the Giants have put together. They didn't go spend a butt ton of money. They built their team. They didn't bring in the best free agent pitcher for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean that it would be a huge disappointment for Dodgers fans. They almost lost to the Cardinals, who were the hottest team coming into the playoffs, and they almost lost to them. And it was a great game. I mean, much love to Virginia Beach native Corey Taylor, who hit the home run. So I'm gonna give VA. You got to give VA love where you're gonna give VA love. But man, it was craziness. But we're gonna find out. I believe it's Friday. I think the game 5 is on Friday, which is a couple days. It's a couple days away.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow's Thursday.
So it should be a really good one on Friday. But I'm going with the Giants as well. So we probably already put the Dodgers into the NLCS because last week we both picked the Cardinals last week, and then we saw what happened there. All right, y'all. Now let's get into our Week 5 recap. We got to get into our Week 5 recap. Talk some NFL.
Were you one of those jackasses that went 13-3?
I didn't get that lucky.
Okay, good.
I didn't get that lucky. Me and you both went 11-5. But it was like three of our team members went 11-3, and went 3-13. I said 3-13, 13-3. I'm flipping it around. Sorry, y'all. So they went 13-3 last week, and Jay still holding on to the lead. I think Jay, you got like a 2, maybe like a 2 or 3 game lead, but it's a tight race this year. Like I think the last place person has 50 wins. Jay's got 56, so it's a 6 game span between Jay and James, but I believe me and someone else have 51 wins, and then everybody else has 52, 53. I think Jay's got 54, 55. So it's been a fun race so far.
I'm just glad finally that I have more, almost double wins than I do losses.
I mean, you'll take that. You can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. I hopefully another strong week. We'll see. We got some fun ones coming up here in the next week. But let's talk about last week. Last week we had the Rams and Seahawks on Thursday night. And the Rams went on to win this one 26-17. Biggest thing coming from this game, no Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, he's out for a month.
And right there, that you hate to say it, but that's 4 losses for the Seahawks right there.
Yeah, I mean, they did bring in Blake Bortles.
Oh, yeah. Look at Darrell. Break out that old jersey of yours, bro.
I'm just saying they brought in Blake. So, but I think Geno's going to get the start. Geno actually did look good in that game for the majority of that game that he was in. The only bad play was the interception that was thrown, but his receiver fell on the ground, and it looked like it was a good lead pass. The receiver fell on the ground, and the cornerback was just there to take it. Yeah. And so Geno's luck on that one. So. Feel bad for Geno on that one, but we'll see if he can continue to play well during these 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's not that I don't think it's just Russell Wilson since he's been drafted has been and always he's been that team. He's the reason they went to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Russell doesn't miss games. I think they said this is going to be his first game that he's missed with the Seahawks. He's been there 9 years. It's just said that's crazy. So you hate to see that happen to Russell because he's been such a stalwart there. But this is a bad time for the Seahawks. But we talked about this in our prediction show. This could be the year that we see the Seahawks fall by the wayside. We didn't know it was going to be because of injury, but we
talked definitely a lot about the defense. Bobby Wagner is no longer Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I know, right? Bobby Wagner, the man beast that he is, and unfortunately, we haven't seen that.
There's no remaking of the Legion of Boom. I mean, Pete Carroll has brought in pieces to stay relevant, but I just don't see them. They're gonna have to do a complete rebuild.
I was about to ask you, do you think they're at rebuild point? And it's if they rebuild, they got to trade Russell, and there was some trade talks in the offseason, but I think you do it if you're going to rebuild, huh?
Value there. What value is there?
To trade for Russell?
Yeah.
Oh man, you can still get a lot from Russell. I mean, if he's only 9 years in the league.
But okay, what are you going to get 3 first-round draft picks for Russell?
I mean, I don't know. The asking price for good quarterbacks nowadays is something like that. I mean, we saw what they asked for with Deshaun Watson. They was asking, they were trying to give away a liver for Deshaun Watson, and he didn't even win a Super Bowl.
But this is the point I'm trying to make. You're a quarterback needy team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you give those 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson, or do you give them for Deshaun Jackson, or not Deshaun Jackson? Watson.
I give him for Russell because Russell still. I mean, Russell is 31, and now they're 31, 32 in the NFL nowadays. As you can see, quarterbacks are going in their 40 and they're still in their prime, winning Super Bowls in their prime in their 40s.
But those are quarterbacks that don't get hit the way he gets hit.
Right, and he's been the most sacked quarterback in the league since he's come in the league, and that's crazy stat for a guy who's won Super Bowls, but he's always been on the run. We talked about how he's always on the move, always got to run around, and it's sad. He's not. Just imagine if he had a line. Good Lord! I mean, we can only imagine what he would be.
Russell Wilson played till he's 70.
Right.
If he had a line.
If he just had a line. Next matchup, the Falcons and the Jets. This was the first London game of the year. The Falcons winners won 27-20, but I will say they had a 20-0 lead. And in classic Falcons fashion, slowly but surely, they just gave the lead away. They were able to hold on to this one. But if they were playing, I don't know, anybody else?
They
probably would have lost the game. They probably would have lost the game. Sorry, James. Happy birthday, by the way, to James. So
yes, happy birthday, James. But I mean, I guess I'm looking at this, and Zach Wilson is no different than what Sam Darnold was. There's no difference in him. Maybe Zach Wilson throws a little bit harder, but I've seen no difference in quarterback play. And, kudos to the Falcons for finally taking Cordell Patterson and making him a football star.
Exactly. Like Patterson, if you got lucky enough to draft Patterson in your league thinking, oh, he's going to be a great bench player, and then you get this discovery that he's way more than that. And in most fantasy leagues, if I'm not mistaken, he's the 3rd best running back in fantasy leagues right now. And the man can do both. He can be a receiver. He can be a running back. He's just got it all. He has come in and become Matt Ryan's favorite toy. We thought it would be Kyle Pitts. That hasn't been the case.
And Pitts finally scored a touchdown.
He did. And Zacchaeus, who came from UVA, has been having a pretty decent season. Russell Gage has been out, no Ridley, and they've been still finding ways to stay relevant. So exactly. they are 2-3 after that one. So we'll see if they can continue that.
Well, if you look at our rankings, I don't think they're no longer at the bottom.
No, I had them. They were last for the first couple of weeks, and Danny was still yelling at me about it. I think on my on one-on-one, I think I'll have them. I think they're like 20, 25, and so they're moving up. They're not there yet, but they're like 25 on there. So Danny, they're getting a little bit better, buddy. Next one, Bengals and Packers. Now, I just got to say this.
How was your heart?
It was over here. It was bad. It was bad because, we seen this a couple years ago from Mason Crosby. When they were playing Detroit, and we found out his sister was sick, and he just had a miserable game. And I'm not gonna lie to you, and maybe this is just me thinking as a person, but I was like, who is sick in his family? What is going on in his personal life? Because Mason Crosby for the last 2 years only missed 2 kicks.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. And he only missed 2. And then in this one, he was like.
And when I was watching it, I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm sitting there in my head. I was like, all right, I really hope everything with his wife and his kids is good because
right.
The man's was like you said, been Mr. Automatic, and he missed three.
I'm just glad somehow, some way he got one last chance. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I sat right here in that chair and I yelled, "Don't put him back on the field. Do not put him back on the field." And here he comes trotting on the field. And all I did was turn around and look into the ceiling and pray for the best. And then I heard him say, "It's good." I'm like, "Whoo! All right, I can breathe now." Jay sent me a text message say, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not. I'm not. Not at all. Not at all. It was bad.
But if you take away, what the missed field goals, and you look at what it does, the Bengals might actually be the team that we thought they could be.
Yeah, and we did talk about this. Even though I had them going 9-8, I felt like they could be a better team. Because offensively, you got Joe Mixon, who's right now, I think, second or third in the league in rushing. You got a really good young and talented receiving core with Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. And then you got, CJ Usmazu. I'm not going to try to destroy his name too much. So they got a really decent offense. Still got to work on that offensive line, though, because can't have Burrow. Burrow threw a couple picks in this game that really been costly earlier. If it wasn't for Mason Crosby missing field goals, they would have lost that game earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, unfortunately for us initially, they were able to even get back in there. And then their field goal kicker, who's been pretty good this year, the young man, McPherson, he missed 2. So crazy game. Nevertheless, the Packers go to 4-1, but they needed it.
Campbell.
Yes. I love Campbell, man. There's something about him, man. Like I've been screaming for a linebacker for a minute now. And we found this guy, got him out of Arizona on the street. Even Aaron Rodgers said, he was like, I don't know how nobody picked this guy up.
26, he come in to play on a 1-year deal for $2 million.
Yeah, he about to get paid. If he keeps playing like this, he's getting paid next year. It may not be with Green Bay, but he's going to get paid.
Right now, he would be one of the NFC middle linebacker Pro Bowlers.
He would have to be. I think he's got a couple interceptions. He's got like 3 interceptions this year.
I mean,
it's been a nice addition to, especially with no Zadarius Smith because he's been out. Jalen Smith has not made his debut yet, so we have the triplets, the Smith triplets, and we don't, we'll see how that all goes once they all get on the field together. But
for me, I'm having that flashback to when we got this guy named Shaq Barrett from the Broncos.
I'll take it.
I'm really getting the same vibe because he was buried so far behind on the depth chart that they didn't really give him a chance to show what he could do.
Yep, and then he comes there and wins the Super Bowl. No biggie at all.
I mean, we all have dreams.
Yeah, right. Next one, Vikings and Lions. But I'm not gonna say too much about this game other than God, I feel sorry for the Detroit Lions. I really like Dan Campbell as a coach, man, and I hate to see this happening to them. They should be at least 2-3, at least 2-3, if not 3-2.
I agree.
It's been hard to watch.
For a Lions fan, I 100%. Their receiver, I can never say his name, Cephas, was having a great year. Now he's hurt.
Yep. Hawkinson has been hurt the last couple of games, even though he's played, but he's been nicked up. And
they just, I don't know. The team's heading in the right direction. Let's just say that.
All right, and then I believe they lost their starting right tackle. I think for the year.
Oh shit! What's his name?
It's like Reckel or Joe something. Joe something. Joe something. All I know is they lost him for the year, and that's it's a really bad deal. Ragnar. There you go. That's what we're looking for. So Ragnar, that happens, and you just hate that for Detroit. Vikings get lucky and win this game, and this is the third week in a row. Second game in the last 3 games that they've lost on the last second field goal.
Madison is having a decent year.
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, and Dalvin Cook, just can't stay healthy, man. It's one of the best running backs in the league because just cannot stay on the field. Just can't stay on the field.
I always wonder why we took OJ Howard, not Cook. And
Well, I was the same way, and I'm kind of glad. Even though he's very talented, he's always nicked up.
well,
Always nicked up.
and then I went back and questioned why we took Vita Vea, and he quietly is the MVP of our defense right now because Derwin James was available. Another Florida State product that can't stay healthy.
It's craziness. Absolute craziness. Vikings do win that one 19-17. Steelers, after winning the first game of the season, they lost 3 in a row. They come back and they beat the Broncos 27-19. I really don't have that much to say about this game because it was rough looking. Teddy B tried to get him back in the game late, but it was just too little too late.
I agree.
Yeah, it was too little too late. Other contests, Buccaneers and Dolphins, 45-17, beat down. It was close. It was close up until the fourth quarter, though.
It was close, and something just happened. I mean, because I was watching it on the ESPN app, go back and forth, and I was just like, "Really, guys?" And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, we've played with them enough. Let's go."
Yeah, 21 points in the third quarter, just like that, man.
Well, Antonio Brown. I mean, he had like a 60-yard catch and run,
Right,
to make him the quickest to 900.
You know what's crazy? Looking at Antonio Brown, he missed pretty much like 2 years. He missed like a 2-year span. Just imagine what his numbers would be if he'd have played, no drama, no issues. Just imagine what his numbers would be at right now. I mean, we're talking about a guy that could have been creeping or starting to make his way into that top. I mean, if he's not already in the top 10, he would start making his way into that type of territory. And he's still got a chance because he's still a fairly young guy and still playing pretty well. But we'll see.
And I mean, his trainer now is the same trainer that has helped Tom Brady play to 44.
Yeah, man, Tom Brady invited them into his home, and it seems like things have turned around. And they have turned around for Mr.
I won't lie. I was one of the biggest skeptics when they said he was going to take him under his wing, allow him in, and maybe he saw something that we all didn't see.
Tom Brady's just got an aura. That's all I got to say. I don't know what it is. You can tell his players love him, and he's Tom Brady.
And I've seen a little bit about the Wickersham book that's supposed to be coming out about Tom Brady. The reason Tom Brady, he was ready to leave the camp because Bill Belichick wouldn't attach himself to him for a 2-year contract. That's all Tom Brady wanted, and so he was ready to walk out in training camp 2019.
Crazy.
And Brady will adjust his contract to do whatever to build a team around him. Why?
I don't know what Belichick was thinking, but if you go back and look in hindsight, this was great for Tom. He went to an organization that wanted to win. He went to an organization that was willing to do whatever it takes to make him happy, one, and give him the pieces he needs to win. Hey,
I just happened to be mine.
I better say and then you're not complaining at all. Next one, Washington taking on the Saints. Saints win 33-22. Saints, for me, are a team that it's really hard from week to week to know what you're going to get.
They're very bipolar. They're up and down.
They are. And Jameis Winston threw what I call a Make-A-Wish touch, Hail Mary. He just closed his eyes and threw it up there and just said, I wish, and just threw it up there. Got the touchdown before the half. Kamara kind of got his footing back, and they looked pretty good in that contest against the Washington defense that continues to disappoint.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. A Washington defense that both you and I thought, if you put with a good offense, they were a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Right.
They're making us look like we don't know a damn thing.
Well, it's crazy because I feel like if the defense was playing up to what we thought they would play like, they would probably be 4-2. Or, they would have more wins, but, oh yeah, my fault. 4-1, maybe 3-2, but at least 4-1. They could easily be that. I think if they had the play that we thought they were going to get from there.
Now, is that the defense not playing up to par, or is it the defense being called?
It could be the defense getting called. It wouldn't surprise me on that, but something's got to give. I don't know what Darrell needs to do to pull out his bag of tricks. I don't know if Ron Rivera's got to start calling something. Somebody's got to do something there.
I mean, because what 5 first-round picks on that and that
Yep.
defense?
It's too many first-round picks would not be good. Next one, Eagles and Panthers. Eagles winning in a surprise one, 20-18. I really didn't see the Eagles winning this one, but they pulled it out.
Quietly, very quietly, this defense has been good. Hargrove, beside oh shit, what's his name? The dude that he came from the Rams, Fletcher Cox.
Well, you had me thinking hard. I was like, subtract the 3.
Well, the Hargrove leads the league in sacks right now.
Crazy. He comes in, and we didn't see any of this happening from this Philadelphia team. Devontae Smith has played pretty well. Goddard, before he got out with COVID, he's on the COVID reserve list. He's been having a really good year.
But you haven't heard anything from Zach Ertz.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, I thought they were going to trade him in the offseason, and it didn't happen. And it's crazy how Zach Ertz fell off. And it doesn't feel right because Zach Ertz is a really good tight end, and he is just – I think it's just time for him to go to another place. Sometimes culture change means that he just needed another place to go to. But it's not working out for him in Philadelphia. I don't know if his career is over.
November 2nd is the trade deadline. I see that we will probably see 3 or 4 moves that'll make us go, didn't see that. And I
didn't see that one coming.
Could be one of them. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on the move. But nice win for the Eagles. They win 21-18. The Titans win 37-19 over the Jaguars. And, they're still trying to get over. You already know.
You're going to
do it. I'm going to do it right. They're still trying to get over,
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.
And the theme song. Grindgate.
Pink Flamingo.
They're still trying to get over it. And
Pink Flamingo.
The Pink Flamingo. They're still trying to get over it. But I mean, at the earlier part of this game, I saw some good things, but the Titans were just too much in that contest.
Pink Flamingo.
Yeah, oh my goodness. The Patriots won 25-22 over the Texans. The Texans had this game well in hand and just gave it away. They just gave it away. They had it. They were up 22-9, and slowly but surely, boom, Belichick and the crew started chipping away. But like I told you, I always thought this was a coaching thing,
Well,
like,
the Texans lost a huge loss because they lost Tunsil for a bit. He got injured. So
yeah, losing Tunsil, that's gonna hurt. And
there's 12 Pro Bowl running backs.
And none of them are doing anything. That's the crazy thing. You got 19 Pro Bowl running backs, and none of them are doing anything. Like, I'm pretty sure Ingram had like 3 yards, and Johnson had 8, and Phillip probably had 4. And that's how, you would think that running back game would be a little bit better, but it's not. Very impressive with Davis Mills in the beginning of that game. And he threw for 312 yards. He had a really good game. I think he had 3 touchdowns. It just wasn't enough. That wasn't enough.
That defense is so pitch-patched together. I mean, I think I saw a Vernon Hargrave sighting. So
it sounded like he was on a milk cart. That's great. Next one, Bears and Raiders. Bears won that one 20-9. Raiders just looked out of place, and the Bears took advantage of it while the Raiders were at home. But they went.
Justin Fields has been locked in as the starter. And so does that make me wonder where Nick Foles will end up as a Colt?
At what time and what place, right? Especially after that way that game ended the other night. Oh, my goodness. The Chargers. This game right here, Jay. This Chargers-Browns game where the Chargers went 47-42. I was this close. I said, I got it. The Browns are going to do me some good here. And they were up, I think, 42. It was up 42-35. And I'm like, they got it. They just had a couple more minutes just to hold on. And what do? go down the field. They let the Chargers score. The Chargers missed the field goal. Then they get the ball back, had the chance to kill the clock, couldn't do it. Then they had to push. They had to push Eckler into the end zone, like to force him to score so they could get the ball back and give it another shot. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. Like you can see Eckler purposely trying not to get in the end zone, and then you see the Browns player say, "Get in there so we can get another chance." It was the funniest thing. It was like you see Eckler like, no, and then you see the Browns player like, "Get in there so we can get the ball back."
And that one's for all you fantasy owners that needed Eckler not to score.
Right. And I was one of them. So that kind of hurt my feelings in one of the games. I ended up losing that game. He scored the last 2 touchdowns in that game, and I ended up losing like in a pretty bad way. And I was up by like 100, and I ended up losing that game. I ended up losing it. The guy had Eckler, and he had 4 Baltimore Ravens. And at the beginning of that night, I'm like, I'm in great shape, and I still end up losing that game. I'm baffled by it. 100-point lead, but I left a lot of points on the bench too. But that's another story for another day. Next one: Cowboys and Giants. Cowboys win 44.
You can't.
The team with the star wins 44-20 over the Giants. We're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to move on.
Now, I want to talk about one thing. I need you to right now, convince me that Saquon Barkley is not the Carson Wentz of running backs.
I can't.
That's all I got.
I can't. I wish I could go out there and say, "Hey, man, he's not," but I really can't, bro.
His ankle
it sucks because I mean, did you see how he got injured? You saw how it happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do with that? He was literally not even looking in the direction, and he steps on the Giant player foot, and his whole ankle said, "Whoop."
His ankle was huge.
The craziest thing I ever seen. Whoop, just blew up. Just like that.
I seen that, and I was just like,
right. I remember we were on the phone, and I said, "Jay, I think you might want to see his ankle." Whoop, just like that. And but Dallas looked great in this game. Oh, the team with the star, looked great in this game. And all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this. They are 4-0 when I picked them to win. That's it. Next one, the Cardinals.
Now wait, how are they? So did you pick against them when they lost?
Yes. So right now, technically, if you want to look at it, I have correctly picked every game right so far for the team with the star in the helmet so far this year.
You know how bad I would die laughing if your door crept open and there was scissors.
You know how nervous I do right now? I run into the bathroom and lock it. Save me, please save
I'm
me.
in a whole different state, bro.
I'll be like, please, someone, please help me. Oh no, I don't like this. Wait a minute. Listen, look at this. Jay thinks he's safe tonight because he's 600 miles away. But guess what? It gets worse. Look at this one. But I'm closer to Darrell. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I've heard enough on that. I'm gonna go ahead and
you better bring up
next game.
Your Ring door cam.
Oh my God! It'll be like
he'll knock on the door and DJ will say, "Oh, I have."
Oh my God!
For you.
It would have been an absolute disaster. Next game, Cardinals and 49ers. Cardinals win 17-10. Very tight game. Trey Lance's first game as a starter. And it wasn't terrible. They had a shot, just couldn't pull it off.
But he got hurt.
Another 49ers. The 49ers and the Giants right now are two teams that just can't keep players on the field. The 49ers, all their running backs are hurt. Every single one of them. Every single running back's hurt. Now the 49ers starting their top 2 quarterbacks hurt. And they said that Lance is going to be out this week. So, but I don't think they play this week neither. But I think they said he's going to be out at least for the week. They're not going to let him.
So, is Bortles going to sign with them too?
Why not? At this point, why not? I mean, I don't see it. The Giants are really hurt. They had their top 2 receivers out. They also had Barkley go down, and they lost Daniel Jones in the last game. It's craziness.
Now, I saw something. I think Jones is going to play.
Yeah.
But was it Manti Te'o's girlfriend?
With the trip up? I'm pretty sure it was. Next matchup, Bills and Chiefs. All I can say is that the Bills are for real. That is all I got to say. They impress me more and more.
They are the team they're playing like the team we thought they were at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Every facet of the game, and this is for you. Because you know why? You finally listened to me in one league where we're in together, and you pick up Knox.
I got him. I got him in every league now. Every league that I have Josh Allen, I picked up Dawson Knox in, and it's been beautiful.
Because I went to go pick him up in our sleepers league, and it said LegacyMaker. And I'm like, really, Darrell?
I went and picked him. Man, you look. I gotta have Josh Allen's got to have that connection, and Dawson Knox has scored in every game so far.
The last two games,
except for the first one.
The last 2 games, he's had 22 points.
It's crazy. Then between him, what's crazy is him and Sanders are getting all the touchdowns, and Stephon Diggs is just he's not getting any touchdowns,
but he's getting paid.
Being productive. He's being productive, but the other guys are getting the points.
But I mean and now their Moss is actually starting to be a running back, so that they're hitting on all cylinders on both sides of the ball.
I like what I've seen from this team. They continue to grow, and they continue to look good.
Now,
last one, Colts and Ravens. The Colts had a 22-3 lead in the fourth quarter with like 13 minutes and some change to go, and they end up losing this game 31-25. They got outscored 28-3. That's right, Falcons fans. Close your ears. They've got outscored 28-3 in that contest to end up losing that one. And Lamar Jackson was just doing Lamar Jackson's things.
442 passing yards.
And I'm one of the guys always said they need more receivers. They need a number one. Hollywood Brown has really had a good year, and that catch he made the last couple of weeks, he's really grown as a receiver, in my opinion. I still need to see a little bit more, and maybe that's just me being selfish. Mark Andrews had like 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game. It was crazy, and that's why I lost that game to that guy, because Mark Andrews had 3 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson had 8. So together, I end up losing by 30 because these guys put up a 400 spot or something like that. I don't know. God, it was aggravating. I knew it. I said, man, I'm up by 100, but he's got Lamar and Andrew. And going into the fourth quarter, I'm like, hey, I got this, man. As soon as they scored that first touchdown, I said, I'm losing this game. I knew
he's like, hold my beer.
I knew immediately I was going to lose that game once they scored that first touchdown. And I said, yeah, it's over. It's over. All right, everybody. That is our recap for week 5. And before we go, I think Jay, you went what? You said you went 11-5. I went 11-5. I had a couple people go 13-3. So I'm intrigued to see how this week goes, man. This one's going to be another tough. They got 2 games coming up that we're about to talk about that I'm really intrigued about this week, but we'll make the predictions on them soon. And that's the Chargers taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. That's going to be a good one. And then you've got the Cardinals at the Browns. Those are the 2 games, besides obviously Packers and Bears, because that's rivalry game. But those are the 2 games I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend.
Yeah. One that will be an interesting one for me is that Monday night game.
Yeah, the Bills and the Titans. The last time they faced each other, Josh Norman got thrown into the stands by Derrick Henry. So that he's still, he's in San Francisco now. He threw him to San Francisco. And that's something that we're still trying to figure out.
The last time we seen a stiff arm like that, it was from Vance McDonald, and it ended Chris Conte.
Oh my God, I remember that. Oh my God, that was like 3 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was a Monday night game.
Trying to pick himself up off the ground, bro.
One of the craziest Monday night games I ever seen, man. I just remember his poor guy. I'm pray for him. All right, let's go into week 6 here. And we start off week 6 with tomorrow night, Bucks and Eagles from Philadelphia.
Now,
Thursday
everybody
night.
thinks that this is going to be a slam dunk game. It is not.
It is not. Because you said it earlier, Jay, the Eagles defense is playing better. Jalen Hurts is a problem all the way around. Even when they're a little bit behind, he's got the ability, to throw the football well. He's mobile. He's going to cause some problem.
And right now, Gronk is not playing.
As of right now, he's not playing, right?
Gronk is out. Carlton Davis is out. Murphy Bunting's still out. JPP is questionable. And Antonio Winfield Jr. is out.
And the other big thing here is Tom Brady's thumb on his throwing hand is a little bit banged up. He said earlier today, if it was on his non-throwing hand, he would be 100%, he'd be fine. But it's on his throwing hand, and if he's worried about it, other people should be worried about it a little bit. So like you said, Jay, you can't go in this game thinking, Bucks got it, hands down.
Yep.
Eagles are going to come to play. Every primetime game this year, except for 2, have been great games. So I expect a tough one.
The Thursday night games have been some of the best games all year.
But yeah, by far, I think all the Thursday night games have been good. Even that Texans and Panthers one that kind of the Panthers pulled away in the 4th, it was close for 3 quarters. So
how is it now? This is the Bucks' second Thursday night game, ain't it?
This is their second Thursday night game.
Because they played. What was the first one?
The Cowboys. You got me. Next game. Dolphins and Jaguars. I picked the Jaguars. Because the Dolphins, there's something. I mean, Tua's supposed to be back this week, or supposedly could be back this week. But I just don't like what I've seen from the Dolphins the last couple of weeks. And even though Brissett has had some decent moments, it just hasn't been enough. They don't have enough on offense. I got the Jaguars.
I agree. But I think it's going to be a closer game because their running back actually showed up last week and played a little bit.
Yeah. James Robinson's been pretty good for the Jaguars the last couple of weeks. I know he's been great for me in fantasy. I got him in a steal in one of my fantasy leagues. Oh my God, it's been great to have Robinson there. It's been beautiful. I love him. Absolutely love him. I got on that team. I've got 3 of the top 10 running backs in the league. Yeah, I got Jones. I got Jones, Robinson, and Henry all on one team. It's a beautiful thing.
Were you drafting against like toddlers?
No, well, I got Robinson via trade. Jones and Henry, I actually drafted them. Okay. They were my first 2 picks in that draft. Yeah. I know, right? Wow. Next one. The oldest rivalry in the NFL, the Chicago Bears host the Green Bay Packers, 1:00 on Sunday. I'm a little worried because we do miserable against very mobile quarterbacks. So we don't do well against mobile quarterbacks. So with this being Justin Fields' first game in Chicago against Green Bay, I feel like he's going to have an extra little boost. So it's a game that Green Bay can't just look past. I got the Packers because I hate the Bears. But I'm not looking past this Bears team at all.
I went Packers also. But for me, the thing is this is a different defense than you're used to playing with, though, too. You normally don't have middle linebackers that can run and stop, mobile quarterbacks. Most of the time you got guys that are thumpers and they can't think for themselves. And
this is true.
Maybe Jalen Smith will get to play, and if he does, that's a whole different element there.
I'm also intrigued to see what Quinn Dunbar will look like.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy over there that Justin Field throws 3 touchdowns on.
Man, just imagine if we could have got Gilmore, man. We tried, man. God, we tried to get him, man. If we would have had Gilmore and Smith in the same week, I'd be like, look at the Packers out here trying things. Man, that would have been –
I wanted Gilmore.
Yeah. Y'all don't need any more. Y'all got everybody.
No, we don't.
I'm pretty hurt. Don't worry, Jesus will be playing on cornerback for you next week. Next one, you got the Bengals taking on the Lions. I actually feel bad for the Lions in this one because I think the Bengals are going to take out last week's frustration against them. And I wanted to pick the Lions. I just can't because They just can't figure it out, man. It's been crazy. It's
I
been crazy.
know. I picked the Bengals also because I mean,
Do you know who this Lions team remind me of? Remember that 49ers team from a couple years ago that kept losing games by like 2 points, and all their games combined, the first 6 games of the season, they had only lost by like 7 points.
yeah.
This is what this Lions team reminds me of. Now they have lost a little bit, by more. I know the Packers beat them by like 2 touchdowns, and then the 49ers did beat them by a touchdown. But the way they've been playing games reminds me of that team.
Because they're into it until the very end, and then they're like, "Here, go ahead, you can have it."
It's the craziest thing. Next one, we've got the Texans and the Colts. I wanted to pick the Texans in this one, but I still don't think they're there yet. I went with the Colts.
I went with the Colts also, just because I love watching Taylor run the ball.
Yeah, man. Jonathan Taylor's special.
I mean,
he's special.
I was worried because every Wisconsin running back that's come into the league, we were all pumped up, thought they were great, and then they just whoop. And so he's kind of
Monty Ball, Ron Dane, Jim Lennar had a decent career, but he was a fullback though. So and now that's the guy Green Bay tried to bring in to make. They wanted him to be a defensive coordinator, which was interesting to me. I think it was Jim Lennar. Could have been. I might be off. I think that might have been the safety Jim Lennar.
What weird noises are your computer making?
I hear nothing. Look,
it went.
That might. I don't know. I didn't hear it. Unless it was the little notification. That happens. Okay. So Jay's got the Colts. I got the Colts. Next one, Rams and Giants. Rams. And it's not close. The Giants are injured. Like the team should just put the whole team on the injury report.
Well, they lost Thomas, and I saw that they brought in Forrest Lamp. He didn't sign him. They brought in another guy from the Raiders. Didn't sign him. They need help everywhere.
Yeah, they do, and it's a little rough. I feel bad for Russ and Cody, man. I really do. But I got to go with the Rams on this one. Next one, the Washington football team hosts the Kansas City Chiefs. I got Kansas City, even though my heart told me to go with Washington. But both of these teams, it's just you can't figure them out right now.
It's like neither one of them is hungry.
Right.
You love what Taylor Heineke's doing offensively, but the defense ain't matching the play.
Right. If the defense can find a way to get it together, this is a whole different dream. It's a whole different dream.
Golden Gandy has been elevated to active by the former football team because Curtis Samuel is hurt again.
You called it. You said he can't stay healthy. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Vikings and Panthers. I picked the Vikings in this one because I don't like the trend I've seen from the Panthers the last couple of games. The Vikings have been playing really good football, but just losing. Like the games that they've lost, they've been really close. They gave the Cardinals all they can handle. They gave the Bengals all they can handle, and I forgot who the other team they lost to. But
I picked Vikings to win in this one too because I don't know. I don't like the Panthers.
That sounds like a pretty legit.
The Panthers made moves and they brought in 2 top tier corners.
Yep.
And I was kind of jealous because I wanted both of them, and what they gave up to get Henderson just doesn't make any damn sense. But okay, cool.
Yeah. All I get was a tight end and like a 6th round pick.
Yeah. For
amazing,
a former first rounder.
And not like a couple of years, not like 4 or 5 years. We're talking about like a year, like 2019 draft class.
Yeah.
So,
1 year.
No, excuse me, 2020 draft class. So it's not like it's been far off. I still don't know what the deal is in that. That makes you wonder about.
You don't like flamingos.
That's what it is. Got to be. Next one, Chargers and Ravens. This could be the game of the week.
Whew.
This was the hardest one for me to pick, Jay.
I went
with the Chargers. Yeah, I went with the Chargers too, but it's something about Lamar in Baltimore. There's some magic there. That's why I almost went Baltimore because
the Chargers are hitting on every cylinder. Right now, the Chargers are the team in the West to beat.
Yes. We're looking at the way things are going. Could be Chargers Bills in the AFC Championship game. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be phenomenal.
Two of the young guns going at it, but we're jumping ahead. We're jumping on the gun on that one. Next one, Texans and Patriots. I wait a minute. That's last week's. That's last week's, y'all. I'm sorry.
I was like, I think the Patriots won that one already.
I think I forgot to take that one out.
Let's guess again.
Cardinals and Browns. Cardinals and Browns. I went with the Cardinals, even though I ain't gonna lie. I almost went Browns, but I went Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals have just looked too good so far.
I went Browns because the Cardinals looked a little off last week against the 49ers, and the Browns have a way better defense than the 49ers.
This is also true. That's what had me held up. This is why this is another tough game for me to call. But it was tough. It was a hard one.
The two-headed monster. I know Chubb is nicked up a little bit, but if
you still got Hunt.
Yeah, so I went Browns.
Yeah, well, that was a tough one. I feel like that's gonna be one of the ones that come back to bite me. Raiders and Broncos. I went Broncos on this one.
I went Broncos just because Spider Y2 banana yay.
it's cranking up, man. It's cranking up. Cowboys and Patriots, or team with the star. I went with the team with the star on this one.
I keep watching that back door behind you, bro. I went with the Cowboys because Becca said I could.
She gave you permission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one. Sunday night, Seahawks and Steelers. Last week, this might have been a really good game to see with Russell going up against Ben, but we got Geno Smith going up against Ben Roethlisberger. I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I went Steelers also.
All right, last but not least in this bad boy, we got the Bills versus the Titans on Monday night. I went with the Buffalo Bills. Jay, where'd you go?
I went with the Tennessee Bills.
All right, the Tennessee Bills. What a great team. Tell me, when did they form the power team? When did they form the power team?
Well, because imagine if Derrick Henry was a Bill.
Boy, I don't know if that's a good thing for any team in the league right now. That thing would be dangerous.
No, I went with the Bills. So
all right, so there it is. Those are our picks for the week. I'm excited. I think I can have another good week. I mean, as long as I have a strong week, I'm good. I just don't want to go 8-8 again. I can't do that. If I could have went like 11-5 or 10-6 that week, I'd have been okay with that. But to go 8-8 and the games that I end up losing that week just broke my feelings. So that one bad week has kind of got me in a bad spot. So hopefully I can do some catching up.
Joe is right there, and it's like the two old guys are.
Yeah, Joe hit on that Lone Ranger pick, man. The Lone Ranger picks really go a long way. I don't know if we got any Lone Rangers this week. At least I haven't gotten the update on it just yet, so we'll see.
I even tried last week to make myself do a Lone Ranger so I could.
We gotta get Jay in the bucket hat, man.
Wear that dumbass hat and mask once.
We got Jay's like one of the only people that have not been in it on it. Everybody else on the team has been a Lone Ranger. We got to get Jay on the Lone Ranger boat at least once. Got to have him in there with ready to roll.
I'm gonna look like
with Tonto. All right, everybody.
You know what? I will feel some way if you dress me up like Tonto and everybody else in the team is.
No, I'm not gonna do you like that. That'd be profiling. That'd be profiling. Next, you know what time it is.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
All right, y'all. It is time for Cash or Trash to finish up episode 282. All right, first one. The Sixers, the Philadelphia Sixers got a surprise yesterday as Ben Simmons decided, hey, I want to play basketball now. Should the Sixers, Jay, Cash or Trash, accept Ben Simmons back with open arms?
Trash. Something's up. You stick to, no, you can't do that shit. No.
I also have to trash it. No open arms, man. Trade him go ahead and trade him. and go get you something for him.
Send
You
his
know,
ass.
I heard Indiana was one of the teams that were really interested in bringing him in. He seemed like he would be a great Indiana basketball player because of his style. And Indiana's not going to ask for too much. Philadelphia, they want it all. They want it all. So I'm going to definitely trash them, bringing them back. Next one, Cash or Trash. NHL hockey back on ESPN for the first time since 2003. In my opinion, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, theme songs in all of sports. Jay, Cash or Trash, the NHL. Is that, in your opinion, the greatest theme song in sports?
Yes.
Really? You cashing it?
I mean, I'm what can I say no about it? It's one of those things.
It's epic.
When you were a kid that you would think about. You knew, you could hear it and you knew what was going on. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as you hear man, I remember like I had I think I had an ESPN hockey game when I was a kid, and I would reset the game just to hear the theme song at the beginning. Because it was that awesome. It was that awesome. I'm glad it's back.
It's just like when Sports Center starts the anthem at that, you know
Right.
what you're getting into when it happens. So I mean, I can't trash it and say it sucks.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to. It's not the greatest it's number 2. It's number 2 on my list. Number 1 is the NBA on NBC by far, and I don't think anything comes close for me. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is the hockey. The hockey theme is a beat.
The last time I enjoyed that, we're talking late 90s.
I know I miss it, man. That's why I need NBC to get basketball back. I don't care what they do, they got to do it. But I just need to hear the NBA finals on NBC and now a couple years ago when Green Bay was playing Atlanta, I think Devontae Freeman scored a touchdown. And he shot a hoop, and they played the theme song. They played the theme song, like when they were going to commercial.
Yeah.
They were like, I was like, ah! Even though we got scored on, I was hyped. I thought that was pretty cool. So NBC, I don't know what you need to do. You need to go get college basketball and make it happen. Make it happen. That's all I'm saying. Wow. Next one, Cash or Trash. This one's going to be near and dear to our girl Becca's heart. Cash or Trash, Kyle Larson. Is this his championship to lose, Jay?
I'm going to cash it. I really, he's been on a collision course of righting his wrong from the COVID. And I mean, he's really showing. It's his to lose, in my opinion. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta cash it. He's been driving amazing this year. I mean, what is that? He's got like 7 wins this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been killing it. The only person I think that could trip him up would be Denny Hamlin, but I don't know. Denny's been the bridesmaid or the maiden of honor so many times. I just don't know if he can go past that, and make that extra leap. But we'll see. We'll see if he'll be able to pull it off. Oh my! Oh wow!
There you are, Danny.
That's Denny with a unicorn. Oh my God! Okay, that's tough. Last one, cash or trash. The Kansas City Chiefs will finish last in the division because right now they're currently in last place. Things have not looked good. Are you cashing or trashing that the Kansas City Chiefs will finish in last place?
I'm gonna trash it because I mean they'll get the offense come back together. They still have Kelsey Hill. They're getting what's that? Gordon. He might play. So I mean, I foresee them and Andy Reid. I mean, he had one bad year. I mean,
yeah, maybe one day.
So for me, I don't see that. I see the Raiders finishing last.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to look that way now. It definitely started off in a different form. I want to say they're going to finish in second. Obviously, just based off of offensive talent, right off the bat, I see them finishing second at this current time. But the Broncos have played really good football for a team that I thought that would be last place in this division. The Raiders have just been. It almost feels like they've been lucky. That's all I can really say about them right now. And now
I remember, Stephen Daniels saying, because we didn't pick them the first couple weeks and they won.
Right.
Then when we started,
picking them, they lose.
They lose. So let them suck. I'm good with it. And by John Gruden, that is not your Super Bowl ring, sir. You need to give that to Tony Dungy.
Ooh, give it back. Give it back. Give it back.
I believe I believe that with every bit of my heart.
Oh, I know you do. And I'm right there with you. I've always felt that way too. It shouldn't have never. I just feel like they did Tony Dungy wrong. And that was how I've always felt. I know they felt like he couldn't get over the hump. And then Keyshawn Johnson said he did give him a little bit burst on a little bit of a different vision on offense. And that gave him just a little bit what they needed. But everything else was Tony Dungy.
It was. And, he did dirty because Booger McFarland drives me crazy as an analyst. But Gruden would make these bullshit promises to get the player to leave him alone and then two-face him because Simeon Rice was supposed to come back one more year and he cut him. How can you cut the man that had like 17 sacks the season before just because you don't like him or something? That don't get the fuck
It's
off.
crazy. It's crazy stuff to me. But you know what? That's
it's why John Lynch left, and you know what? He had 4 more Pro Bowl years with the Broncos.
Yep. And I believe he got another Super Bowl ring out of that, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was on one of those. I think he was on that Super Bowl team.
He was.
He may have not been, but I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure. But nevertheless, John, the chickens have come home to roost, young man. And unfortunately, what do they old folks say? What is done in the dark shall come to light. That's what the old folks say. And that's what I've been hearing. That's what everybody's been saying. So,
And this is why you and I would always get in trouble at work for not sending emails.
This is true. And I'm kind of glad I didn't send emails now because God knows. God knows, bro. God knows. All right, everybody. That is it. Episode 282 here of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast. We will be back next week for episode 283. Jay, anything you want to say before we roll out of here, brother?
Just everybody tell your people you love them, keep them close. Take care of yourselves. God bless.
Most definitely, y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. Y'all have a good one. And until next time, we are out.